What's going on, guys? I got some domination on firing range today, and this is a 74U gameplay, but really I'm going to be talking about the Famas and kind of the 74U a little bit later when I kind of get to my point here. But the big news recently is that the Famas is getting patched. I think this is a good thing, the Famas needs to be patched, but it's still going to create another problem, which I'm going to talk about in a second. But you can search other commentators' videos. Wings of Redemption's the most notable one that I watched that actually gives full details on exactly what they're going to change about the Famas. Like, I think they're going to change the hip fire and the regular, fire rate. And then they're going to change the recenter speed so that the recoil seems worse. And things like that. So it's not going to be, as damaging and crushing of a weapon. But we still don't know, we remember when the 74U got patched at first, it kind of still seemed like it was a pretty decent gun. So we'll really see how it comes out and if it still seems like the best gun in the game. But Black Ops and Treyarch and everybody are definitely making an effort to listen to the community and patch the Famas, which I agree it needs to be patched, but it still is fun as hell to use. I don't care what anybody says. It's an awesome awesome gun to use and try to get clips with and stuff like that. No matter how noobish people tell you are for using it, it's still a really fun weapon to use. Much like the 74U was an awesome weapon to use when this game first came out. And now you see me here, gotten off to a nice kill streak here at the beginning of this match. I went out and captured the B flag and then got all the way up to my Blackbird just sitting there. So, but anyways. So, with that being said, and that I agree that the Famas needs to be patched, patching weapons never seems to work because what's going to happen is nobody knows what this game plays like with the Famas lowered. So, when you lower the Famas, there's still going to be either an assault rifle or a submachine gun that stands out among all others. If you made every gun the same, there would be no point in having different guns. So, if you remember when this game first came out, everybody was complaining about the AK-74U and that gun was way overpowered and we needed to patch it. And then they patched it, okay? So then now here we are a few months later removed from that, and everybody's talking about the Famas, and the Famas needs to get patched, and the Famas is way overpowered. So now if you patch the Famas, then you've brought both of those guns below whatever gun is going to be at the top. A lot of people are saying the AUG just because it has pretty much the same exact gun stats as the Famas. But for some reason, I think the AK-47 is going to be become a really powerful gun compared to the rest of them. Just because I feel like the recoil isn't too uncontrollable on the AK-47. But I guess we'll just have to see what happens, man. I mean, it could really be any number of guns. It could be the Galil with a silencer. There's going to be an overpowered gun, and 3 or 4 months from now, people are going to be wanting another gun patched. So I don't know how much patching guns really works as far as solving the problem. But here's what I think the real problem is. The real problem is how many people use these guns. If the Famas was as powerful as it is, and the 74U was as powerful as it was when this game first came out, and only 3 out of the 12 people in the lobby were using those guns combined, nobody would be saying anything. It's because every time somebody gets killed, they look on the kill feed and they see that it was with the Famas, or they see that it was with the 74U, and that just pisses them off. It makes them feel like they're getting screwed over because they're not using the Famas, then they're at an unfair advantage. And that was stupid of me right there, knowing that there had to be a few of them capturing to just run out there. I probably should have tried to peek out there and kill 1 or 2 of them and come back inside. But anyways, so as I was saying, man, I think it just gets really frustrating to people getting killed by the same weapons or the same tactics over and over again. That's why a lot of people hate spawn camping or in demolition. If you're just in the people spawn killing them, people hate that because they just spawn and die, spawn and die. If they could do the same thing, they would. If they had a full team of 6, they would spawn trap in a minute. But they get pissed off and get mad at you because you're spawn trapping. And I think that's the same thing with the Famas and the 74U. People get pissed off about it, but, they act like they've never used those guns before. So we'll really see how this whole patching thing works out. And the Famas was probably my favorite gun in the game up until this point. So we'll see what happens when this game comes out and how I feel about other guns. So that's kind of my thoughts on that. And now I'm going to kind of talk a little bit about college here. I talked about graduation a couple days ago. My brother's graduating. And maybe not even college, just future life plans. What do you guys want to do after high school? Um, I chose to go to college. I went to a community college at first. I had the grades and the scores and everything to get into a 4-year university, but I chose to go to a 2-year community college and then transfer to a 4-year university, which pretty much works the same as going to a 4-year university, except you save a whole bunch of money in the first 2 years. But anyways, I don't believe the way that like the community, I'm trying to figure out a better word than that, like the press has basically forced upon you that you have to go to college to be successful. I totally disagree with that. There's definitely careers out there, specifically like trades like heating and air conditioning and stuff like that that you can go to school for that's not really a 4-year university, and you can really learn a trade quickly. But even if not, like, you can get into businesses, and if you work hard enough, you can move up to make a decent living without going to college. So if college isn't something that you really want to do, don't waste your parents' money and your family's money going to college if you don't really want to. So that's pretty much my first tip. Just do what you feel like you want to do, and don't listen to what everybody says that you have to do this or you have to do that to be successful. And the next thing that I want to say is, and here's pretty much the only reason I posted this video, is this streak right here where I had the Blackbird up and just totally crush. And now right here, it was a host migration, and it's going to switch to another video here in a second. But so now if you do decide to go to college, don't make the same mistake I did. If you, like, I stayed home for several different reasons. I stayed home and went to community college, and even my 4-year university that I transferred to, I still stay at home and commute to school. And I did those things because, I didn't want to leave home, really. I didn't want to leave, I pretty much get spoiled at home, like I get fed and, clothed and everything. I don't have to really worry about like anything for myself pretty much. And also my girlfriend's here. I've been with her for like over 6 years now, and, I don't regret it at all. But because like I'm still with my girlfriend, it's not like the reasons that I stayed are gone now. Like it's not that kind of reason that I tell you not to do this. But if you want to stay home to go to college, do it because you want to stay home to go to college. Don't do it because your girlfriend's at home, or don't do it because your parents want you to stay with them. I mean, just make your own choice pretty much is what I'm saying. And that's the same thing I was saying with if you want to go into a career right after high school. Just go your own route, man. Don't listen to what people tell you to do, and don't feel like you have to stay at home for your parents or a girlfriend or a boyfriend or something like that. Because, if that person loves you enough, like I feel like if I went to college, or if I wanted to go away to college and my girlfriend loved me enough, then, she would have waited for me. Like I could have hung out with her in the summers and during the breaks that I get at school. So like if I wanted to go away like a couple hours to school or even across the country, maybe it still could have worked out. Everybody knows that's probably not likely. That wouldn't happen because long distance relationships don't seem to work out. And, a lot of people do stay at home for these kind of reasons. So I really recommend that you don't do that, and you pick your own path and really follow what you want to do, and don't let anybody influence your decision. But this gameplay is about wrapping up here, guys. I kind of wish I could have got both of these kills here at the end, but only got the guy climbing up the ladder. And I hope you guys enjoyed this gameplay, and let me know what you think about the Famas getting patched, and then also, what you guys' plans are after school, So I'll talk to you guys later, and y'all have a good day.